Everybody's heard the name Frank Zappa, but how much do you really know about the man behind the music? Frank Zappa was not just a musician, he was a revolutionary artist, a provocateur, and a cultural icon. His life was filled with extraordinary events, groundbreaking music, and a fair share of controversies. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the wild and fascinating life of Frank Zappa. So buckle up and get ready for a journey through the life of one of the most unique figures in music history. Frank Zappa's name is synonymous with innovation and controversy. His music was a blend of rock, jazz, classical, and avant-garde, and his lyrics often tackled taboo subjects with a sharp wit and a fearless attitude. But beyond the music, Zappa's life was a roller coaster of highs and lows, filled with moments that were as shocking as they were inspiring. Let's dive in and explore the incredible stories behind his music and his life. Born on December 21, 1940 in Baltimore, Maryland, Frank Vincent Zappa's early life was anything but ordinary. His father, a chemist and mathematician, worked at the Edgewood Arsenal chemical warfare facility, which exposed young Frank to a variety of chemicals and gases. This early exposure to the bizarre and the dangerous would later influence his music and his worldview. The Zappa family moved frequently, and young Frank found solace in music, which became his escape from the chaos of his early life. Zappa's musical journey began at a young age. He was fascinated by the sounds of rhythm and blues, doo-wop, and classical music. He started playing the drums in high school, but it was the guitar that would become his true passion. Zappa was a self-taught musician, and his unique style was a result of his eclectic tastes and his relentless experimentation. He was never content to stick to one genre or one style. Instead, he blended elements from a wide range of musical traditions to create something entirely new and groundbreaking. At just 14 years old, Zappa bought his first record, a rhythm and blues album that would shape his musical future. This early exposure to the raw, emotional power of R&B had a profound impact on him, and he began to explore other genres with the same intensity. He devoured records by classical composers like Stravinsky and Barese, as well as rock and roll pioneers like Chuck Berry and Little Richard. This diverse musical diet would later become the foundation of his own eclectic style. Zappa's early musical experiments were a mix of the familiar and the avant-garde. He started with the drums, but it was the guitar that made him a legend. His guitar playing was unlike anything anyone had ever heard before. It was raw, aggressive, and filled with unexpected twists and turns. Zappa's solos were a journey in themselves, taking listeners on a wild ride through a landscape of sound that was both chaotic and beautiful. His guitar became his voice, and through it, he expressed his deepest thoughts and emotions. In the 1960s, Zappa formed the Mothers of Invention, a band that would become legendary in the world of rock music. Their debut album, Freak Out, was a game-changer. Released in 1966, it was one of the first double albums in rock history and a bold statement of Zappa's artistic vision. The album was a mix of rock, blues, doo-wop, and avant-garde music, with lyrics that were both satirical and thought-provoking. Freak Out was a commercial success and established Zappa as a major force in the music world. Remember Deep Purple's iconic song, Smoke on the Water? The song was inspired by a fire that broke out during a Frank Zappa concert in Montreux, Switzerland, in 1971. The fire started when someone in the audience fired a flare gun into the ceiling, causing the venue to go up in flames. Zappa and his band managed to escape unharmed, but their equipment was destroyed. The incident became legendary, and Deep Purple immortalized it in their hit song, which remains one of the most famous rock songs of all time. The fire at the Montreux casino was a turning point in Zappa's career. It was a moment of chaos and destruction, but it also highlighted Zappa's resilience and determination. Despite losing all of his equipment, Zappa continued to perform and create music. He refused to let setbacks stop him, and his ability to bounce back from adversity became one of his defining characteristics. This incident also cemented his reputation as a larger-than-life figure in the world of rock music. Frank Zappa was not just a musician. He was also a vocal advocate for free speech and artistic expression. In 1985, he testified before the United States Congress against the Parents Music Resource Center, PMRC. a group that sought to censor music they deemed inappropriate. Zappa's testimony was a passionate defense of the First Amendment and a scathing critique of censorship. He argued that music was a form of art and that artists should be free to express themselves without fear of government interference. His testimony was a powerful moment in the fight for artistic freedom. But Zappa's life wasn't all smooth sailing. He faced numerous challenges and setbacks throughout his career. In 1971, he was attacked on stage by a fan during a concert in London. The attack left him with serious injuries, including a crushed larynx and multiple fractures. Zappa spent months recovering, but he never let the incident break his spirit. He continued to perform and create music, proving once again that he was a true survivor. Zappa's life was filled with moments of controversy and conflict. In 1965, he was arrested for producing a fake sex tape as part of a sting operation by the San Bernardino police. The incident was a major scandal, and Zappa spent 10 days in jail. But instead of letting the experience defeat him, he used it as fuel for his creativity. The incident inspired some of his most provocative and satirical work, and it solidified his reputation as a fearless and uncompromising artist. Despite the setbacks and controversies, Zappa never stopped pushing boundaries. He was a prolific artist, releasing over 60 albums during his lifetime. His music was constantly evolving, and he was always experimenting with new sounds and ideas. Zappa was a true innovator, and his influence can be heard in a wide range of genres, from rock and jazz to classical and electronic music. He was never content to rest on his laurels. Instead, he was always looking for new ways to challenge himself and his audience. In 1982, Zappa achieved a surprising commercial success with the song Valley Girl, which featured his daughter, Moon Unit. The song was a satirical take on the Valley Girl culture of the 1980s, and it became a top 40 hit. Valley Girl was Zappa's only major hit single, but it showcased his ability to blend humor and social commentary with catchy music. Sadly, Zappa's life was cut short by illness. In 1990, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and despite undergoing treatment, his condition worsened. Zappa continued to work on music and other projects until his final days, but he passed away on December 4, 1993, at the age of 52. His death was a great loss to the music world, but his legacy lives on through his vast body of work and the countless artists he inspired. Frank Zappa's influence on music and culture is undeniable. He was a true original, a maverick who refused to play by the rules. His music continues to inspire and challenge listeners, and his fearless approach to art and life remains a powerful example for artists everywhere. Zappa's legacy is celebrated by fans and musicians around the world, and his impact on the world of music is still felt today. From an asteroid named after him to his induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Zappa's influence is undeniable. If you found this journey fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe to What We Know for more deep dives into the lives of musical legends. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the extraordinary life of Frank Zappa. See you in the next video. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring the incredible stories behind the music we love.